Good afternoon to the people of the East and abroad. Herein opens the 11th Ethereal Court of the Consules of the East, Alberic and Tindal. Your Majesties.
11. Palindrome, yes. Thank you for joining us today for the Ethereal Court for July, or the month with all four seasons. It definitely had all four seasons here in Concordia, that's for certain. We are very excited to have gotten to travel some and do some of the awards in person. The theater tournaments were fantastic. Thank you to all the groups that were involved in that. It was just awesome. And I think I was most encouraged both by the effort of the people that put on the tournaments, but those participating, those combatants, those consorts came out with grace and chivalry and comportment and everything that is good and noble about what we do. And it was the fulfillment of that promise that things would be great again when we got back together. And it's that nice slow rolling opening so everyone feels comfortable and safe where they were. So thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of this virtual Ethereal Courts end, which is really nice because it kind of frees up our time to actually see people in person. It's so awesome. And let's recognize some of these wonderful people from July.
Their Majesties would see before them Ilaria Grenway.
Good evening, Your Majesties.
Good evening. She looks like a sewer to me.
When I got my,
I'm just in awe of the hood. So
it's the hood.
It's the hood.
A dancer, someone who is an inspiration to those around her,
And likes to spruce up her camp and decorates it for their household.
Yes, very much.
It's right. That's art. That's encouraging participation. That's growing the kingdom. It's making the kingdom prettier. These are noble pursuits.
It is, and it's time to raise you to our ranks of the nobility and give you an award of arms and a title of lady.
Pay heed our present wisdom. Candlelight may be cast far beyond the candle to the inspiration and benefit of many. We, Alberic and Tindal, consuls of this East Kingdom, having heard much good of our loyal subject Ilaria Grenway, of how she exquisitely decorates her household camp, cooks period confections, sews beautiful garb, and confers the spirit of youth, peace, keen wit, and unerring taste in her every effort, recognize the light she bestows upon our kingdom. As such, we are minded to create her a lady of our court and award her these arms. Gules, a mortar and pestle, and on a chief embattled argent, 3 sprigs of holly leaves, vert fructed gules. Words by Maxton Gunn, calligraphy by Anna Mikel von Salm, and illumination by Camille Desjardins.
Thank you so much, Your Majesties. I am very honored and very humbled. Thank you.
And so for the first time ever, Lady Ilaria.
For Lady Ilaria. Vivat!
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 Vivat! Their Majesties called before them Octavia Valeria.
Good evening, Your Graces.
Good evening. All right, let's start with talking about food.
I think I was just elevated.
No, Your Majesty is the top.
I know, but still.
You accept all titles.
I accept all titles.
Absolutely right. So, you've been doing some fantastic food demonstrations.
And during this time, YouTube's the bomb.
No, thank you.
Beyond food, right? Food is for the body, but for the art feeds the soul. We understand you have started scribal work.
Yes, I have.
And you started to fight and fence.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
So that's art. That's fighting.
Teaching is service.
Yes,
That's everything we do.
that is. And she probably encourages others to get involved with her.
I do. I bring my little brother with me.
Involving the children.
Yes. I think we need to do something.
This is everything we've been trying to encourage. What should we do?
Yes. I think we should raise her to the ranks of the nobility.
Award her arms?
Yes,
Confer upon her the title of lady?
that is correct.
So for the first time ever,
Lady
Lady
Octavia.
Thank you.
For Lady Octavia. Viva!
Vivat!
Viva!
Vivat!
Yay!
Yay!
Their Majesties would see before them Phaedra de Vere.
Good evening, Your Majesties.
Oh, I know her. She's the sandwich fairy at Burka.
she is the sandwich fairy at Burka, but she's so much more than that.
But the headdress.
I think it goes a long way to talk about the amount of selfless assistance she offers to others. The rapier cooling station at Penzik, I've already mentioned Burka. In addition, she is training to be a fencer. There's a lot that you're doing that is helping the populace of the East. We would like to recognize that the positive impact you are having in our kingdom is noble, and we would recognize that tonight by awarding you arms and raising you to the ranks of our nobility, which has already happened. Which has already happened. So I'm going to have to go beyond that silver wheel. We're going to induct you into our Order of the Silver Wheel.
Thank you, Your
Congratulations.
Majesties. I'm honored.
You're most welcome.
Kingfisher Sleeves carries her draught bottle without pause. The lotus flowers next to the arena all glisten. Red skirts meat sandwiches fill stomachs. Aren't the sour plums in the ladle thirst quenching? Way Feta is established as a silver wheel, AS 56. Calligraphy and illumination by Sugawara no Naomi. Poem and translation by Thorfinn Rodgerson.
For Phaedra, newest companion to the Order of the Silver Wheel. Viva!
Vivat!
Viva!
Vivat!
Viva!
Vivat!
Yay! Woohoo!
Their Majesties would call before them Adam de Prunell.
Let's start with you're dressed amazingly well. I hear that you've started making your own garb.
Yeah, I've been doing that for the past, year or so.
By using period-accurate patterns, correct?
Well, I draft my own. A lot of it is based mostly on visual references. Like, I don't have an actual pattern book. It's been a lot of guesswork, a lot of research, and it's come out okay. I've been doing a lot of hand sewing, more than I ever thought I would. So that's a big part of it. And I am so happy to see that I've progressed so far in such a short amount of time.
So I'm gonna guess later period because the collar is a little fancier and.
Yeah. This is I mostly stick to like 1350 to 1450 England, but right now this is Henrician, like 1530-ish.
You can just feel your enthusiasm, by the way. Like, straight, you may not be familiar with Zoom, but you are projecting a tremendous amount of energy, and that is fantastic. And one of the things you said this has all been within the last year.
So when actually did you kind of start?
Well, I started right after I graduated college in 2019, and I'd heard about the SDA. I didn't really know what it was, and there was this booth someone had set up for the East Kingdom at the Fort Tryon Medieval Festival in Manhattan, and they saw me in my early 17th century garb, and I kind of got sucked in. I mean, this is my first actual meeting. Like, every time there's been a Commons or an Ethereal court, I haven't been able to join because I've been busy or there have been technical glitches. So for my first one, I'm glad I was able to actually physically be seen.
Well, welcome. In the before times, and to get back to, we would normally give you a mug and hope that the populace would keep that filled for you just so you would get more involved. And that's what we would do. But I think we're going to top that a little bit, and you will get when we see you, you'll definitely get a mug. But we'd like to also raise you to the ranks of our nobility for hanging in there and keeping with us and give you the title of Lord.
Thank you very much.
So for the first time ever, Lord Adam, who I am personally looking forward to giving a mug to and meeting, and
it's very exciting. It is, just because having people join during this time of plague would be very difficult. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
And stick with us as we come back. You are a fantastic asset.
Thank you guys so much. It's a really great honor.
Blessed be the tailor to put thread to needle, needle to fabric, and bend the world to whims of fashion. For skilled hands ply thin strands of flax and floss through fiber. In Usgard, where style is born and fashions fly afar, is one such modest modiste. His clothing fine of fair design, and the highest quality, that his qualities should be known. A keen-threaded eye and ample supply of enthusiasm for style historical in nature. The counselled consuls of royal line and court, Tindal our king, and Alberic his consort, in ethereal court do award unto Adam de Prunel, in this 56th year of our society, arms to be borne by him alone. Words by Alexander Clark, scroll by Tiffin Faramay.
For Lord Adam, Vivat!
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 Yay!
Thank you.
Their Majesties would have before them Vindiarix Ordovix.
Good evening, Your Majesties. How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
So it's beer from song.
Yes, and the forestry stuff too. So yeah,
And it's your genuine curiosity for the fields that you're exploring and the way that you've developed a persona that ties into everything you're pursuing, that has certainly took our notice during ANS Champs and drew the notice of another group as well.
Well, anyone who can brew beer from a song, that's a feat.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say.
Well, it's not only us saying that. There's a particular group that has expressed interest for a certain thing to happen. So, Audrey, if you will, invite these people in.
Their Majesties called before them their Order of the Munch.
Yay!
Yay!
You coming?
We're here. We're here.
My dogs are very excited. You can hear that in the background.
We're all very excited. This is an honor to be able to do.
It's our pleasure, really, because it's well deserved.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, for Blackfin his master hand creates, the beverages fine and spirit elates. Up, lift now the sparkling gold cup to the lip and drink, and leave not a drop in the goblet filled to the brink. Then let thy eyes bright wander around o'er the comrades, gay and merry. I not despise them, nay, Lift up the sparkling goblet and join the sway. Let them rejoice and be happy this festive day. But when thou hast drunk and eaten, no longer stay. I'll twine my fingers around overflowing cup of white. Oh, come thou wondrous bliss bestowing, longed for night. Fine crafts and beverages do delight. The Consules request you join their order of Manch this night. Presented Anno Societatis 56 is now by right. Words by Solveig Bjarnadottir. Scroll by Colette d'Avignon.
For Vindiorix, newest companion to the Order of the Manch.
Vivat!
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 brother.
Woohoo! Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
So, next weekend.
Final
16 crown tournament.
Big day.
The feeder tournaments, you already said, the feeder tournaments were fantastic. I am so looking forward to Airs.
As am I.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a fantastic day. Super thankful to Hartshorn Dale and Bacale for making this something that can happen. And then we're going to post tomorrow morning the formatting, like exactly what we're going to, how we're going to run through each round and what people are doing. That way they have a whole week to know what to pack.
Yes, and this is pre-reg. So remember, I think the
last Friday.
I know, last Friday, right? But I know there are still some stragglers out there, and just make sure that you have gotten your pre-reg in, or you will not be allowed on site.
Right, there was still an attendance cap there, so if they've hit that, I'm pretty sure we got all of our combatants and consorts in. And we got
fingers crossed for that. Yes,
but this is very exciting. I am on pins and needles. 1 week to go.
Can't wait to see.
See more words. See more words.
My lords, my ladies and gentlemen, it is said that the pen is mightier than the sword. Not with the blade can whole kingdoms be saved, but with the arch enchanter's wand, like the wand of a calligrapher who would become an exchequer, of an artist who can work with soldiers hand in hand, of a poet whose words can cut like a saber or move the hearts to tame a hydra, to flutter like a butterfly and sting like needful sacrifice. Mariette de Bretagne comes to answer the question before the tiger throne.
I believe you have a business before we...
I do, Your Majesties. Mr. Kusune, 8.5 years ago, you quite literally threw this belt at me. And it's come time for me to give it back to you. And in that time, you have been a mentor, and a sister, and a best friend. And while I have so much sadness returning it, the only consolation is that I know none of those things are actually going to change. Here I know, I have to open the restroom.
I received this with all the love in my heart. My friend, my sister, and we'll talk about the rest in a bit.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Now that you're your own person, what is your answer?
Excellent.
Their Majesties call before them their Order of the Pelican.
We have heard your answer to our question, and it is our desire to move forward. But it is important, before we solidify your new station, that we are reminded of the virtues that have brought you before us today. Is there a member of the Order of Chivalry that will speak for this candidate?
I, Tanaka Raiko, 110th Knight of the East, and the 17th Tiger of the East, stand before you and claim that right. When one testifies in these sorts of things, it is best to have intimate knowledge of the individual. And I can say that without a lie, with no fabrication, that I was there when she first showed up. And I have known from that time that she was fair. But what solidified it in my mind is the amount of passion she put into her work. She understood. You understand what it takes to make things happen. You have the drive. You have the intelligence. You have the joie de vivre to make the game go. I cannot enthusiastically support this candidate more. You are my peer. Your Majesties.
Thank you, John. Those were very inspirational and wonderful words.
Is there someone from the Order of the Laurel who will speak for this candidate?
Your Majesty, I, Rada Mungligan, companion of the Order of the Laurel, claim that right. As Laurels, we speak for the arts. Well, Mariette is a scribe, but she's so much more than that. She is an artist extraordinaire with a deep passion for her art. Her research into Japanese scribal arts goes well beyond the mastery and the precision of the brushstrokes. She delves deep into the words to have the greater understanding of the characters she puts on paper. Mariette analyzed hundreds of Japanese poems to understand the motifs and the subject matter. She can precisely tell you how many times a specific theme appears in the poetry she analyzed. She then went on to compose her own poetry, to then put it on paper in the same manner a courtier in feudal Japan would. Every stroke of her brush has intent and presence, and a part of herself is left on the page of every piece she creates. Through her passion and dedication, Mariette has become a true living history embodiment of her art. Your Majesties, Mariette is an inspiration. She is my friend, and she is my peer. And it is a good thing you do to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Kind and heartful words, well spoken. Is there a member of the Order of the Rose that would speak for this candidate?
I, Princess Margarita de Siena, claim that right and that honor. I was lucky enough to meet you a few times before everything. My world changed. And I would speak of your courtesy, but everyone here knows of it. And I would speak of your grace, but you are graceful and gracious in many ways. But what you are is an inspiration. You are an inspiration to me with your strength and your courage, the fire that you face things with, and the humbleness that you have when those recognize what you do. You are a person who, when I met, I was like, oh my gosh, she's wonderful. And as I got to know you more, I realized how dear and precious a gift you are to my life and to all those around you. You were a peer when I met you. You helped me find my way in so many things because you led with quiet and courteous behavior. And I appreciate you and your Majesties. And it is great that you do today.
She's so higher than red. It is just nice to hear it out loud. Is there someone from the Master of Defense who would like to speak for this candidate?
If it would please your Majesties, I, Maestro Pasquale de la Mar, would speak for this lady as a member of the Order of Defense. I first met Baroness Mariette over 2 decades ago at a Thursday night practice in Rusted Woodlands. She could be seen in attendance back then, usually with some kind of project in front of her or in her lap, learning from or working with someone else. In addition to that, at events both local and elsewhere, she was always darting about, doing or helping someone with something back then. 20 plus years later, that doesn't seem to have changed much. The only change is now she takes on bigger roles and has people darting around helping her. Much like a rapier maestro who looks to train their students in new and better ways over time, attempting to raise the overall level of rapier skill within the society, Mariette has done her part to make service to the SCA better and easier than when she began. This can be seen through any of her behind-the-scenes administrative projects over the years, where she attempts to make it easier for the person behind her coming up to not have to reinvent the wheel, to give them the ability to focus on another aspect to make it better for the person behind them. It is people like Mariette who are willing to give and share of their knowledge and experience who help the society grow stronger and better through dedication and perseverance as they continue doing the good works they have chosen to be important to them. When I speak for a candidate whose SCA career happens to span a little longer than mine, I like to get some thoughts from others. I think this quote from my Provost Devlin is the perfect close. Mariette is a trustworthy confidant and advocate. She is all business with an infectious smile, ready to help and educate at a moment's notice. She serves her chosen family, has served her shire of old, her kingdom, and the crown. Your Majesties, for all these reasons and more, I recommend her unto you.
Powerful words. Is there a member of the Order of the Pelican that would speak for this candidate?
My name is Kasumi no Tanaka, and I claim the right to speak for my fellow Pelicans. As most of you know, I've had the privilege of having Mariette be both my protege and, more importantly, my friend. And for that, I get to tell a little story. After a slight misstep, Mariette became my primo protege in an abrupt ceremony of two parts. One included face licking at Penzig. It was a claiming. Part two was a hastily received yellow belt several months later at 100 Minutes War. You see, my protege and I were working, as we do every year, as she does every year, even though she doesn't live in our local group anymore. I was running a troll, the second one out in the parking lot, and I threw a belt at her so she could wear it while running an event and our first troll. I have regrets for my action. First of all, because I set a precedent of face looking among my proteges. And because, in part two, I did not give my friend the ceremony she should have had receiving her belt. When our home shire needs help, we do the needful at the expense of pomp and circumstances that are part of the SEA. We do the things that need to be done in the background to ensure the experience of everyone around us, usually at the expense of our own medieval experience. I could share with you so many stories of her sacrifice and hard work, but I'm going to put it this way. Whether it's the finances of our shire, or her roles in the art community, or the myriad regional offices she has held, Mariette puts the needs of others first, and then still has time to art. I have been so lucky to have had her at my side all these years, getting things done while laughing, freezing, and sometimes crying. In my position as a Pelican, I have had the privilege of quietly supporting, coaxing, nudging her along her path, this path of service. Her deeds, her merit have gotten her here. Her sacrifices, gumption, and dedication have gotten her here. And we, the Pelicans, are better for it. It is right, and it is just, that your Majesties recognize that here today. Thank you so much for it.
We have heard the words, and we wholeheartedly support this action today. And now that we've heard that, let us now adorn you with the symbols of a pelican. Are there medallions?
Yeah. Sorry. This is first of its line, and it was gotten for her because my peacock.
I was informed that it was possible that Mariette might have too many necklaces. And so I assembled a pelican that would be a pin for either her hat. But anything that she wanted.
Is there a cloak that might adorn her?
There is, Your Majesty. This cloak was created by Mistress Elsa, myself, and Lady Gisla. With love.
Is there a cat?
This cap was made by my hand.
Fully adorned with the outward trappings of your new station. Should you offer it?
I would. I, Mariette de Bretagne, solemnly swear I am up to no good. But I promise that any mischief I make will be of the absolute highest quality and always in service to the monarchs, people, and the kingdom of the East. This is my pledge as long as there is strength in my hands and breath in my lungs.
I, Albert Valrosca, hear your words and know that your mischief will always be managed.
I, Magnus Tindal, look to you as the bearer of fun, as the one who can trust to guide our course, to ensure that we are acting in the best interests of the populace of the East. You have our protection as you have our ear for your counsel. In times of war, in times of peace, you have a place in our hearts.
Until the crowns pass from our heads, when the world ends, so say I, Albert.
And I, Tindal,
Consules, East.
For she who donates her time, her skills, and her labor for the good of the kingdom, with only the spirit of altruism as a guide, it becomes both incumbent upon and necessary for the kingdom to find a way to show their appreciation and gratitude for her efforts so generously given. In that capacity, it falls upon us, Alberic and Tindal, consuls of these many and sovereign eastern lands, to recognize our subjects for their diligent, tireless, and generous works. Having spent time in various roles throughout the kingdom, Mariette de Bretagne has been shown to be someone who will take upon the mantle of whatever needs to be done and will dedicate herself to improving the situation for all involved. Unafraid to jump into new things with both feet, she displays a high level of zeal in learning the skills necessary to do the job to its fullest. With this in mind, we find it right and just to induct her as a full companion into the Order of the Pelican, with the right to bear the Order's symbol on her person, as well as all other rights, accords, honors, duties, and responsibilities that are conferred with membership in the aforesaid Order. And further, as a symbol of her estate, do we confer by these letters patent, arms to wit, quarterly azure and sable, a butterfly between 5 mullets, 1, 2, and 2, argent. These arms to be borne solely by her alone, without let or hindrance. Let no one bar her way throughout the kingdom through force or toll, or taxes, levies, or excisements put upon her, for she is a peer of the realm. Scroll by Vittorio Antonello.
For the first time, Mistress Mariette.
For Maîtresse Mariette! Vivas! Vivas! Vivas!
That was an excellent day.
That was double day.
That was double day. Yes.
We get the other half of that later?
Yes, I think we do. But I would like to remind all of our littlest tigers and little tigers that the youth quests are ending the end of the month. So please get those in.
That's the end of July?
End of July. And they can find that on the website, it's the Minister of Children.
Yes.
Chancellor Minor.
Chancellor
Minor. I'm not a child anymore. I don't need to find the website. But yes.
Anyways, yes, you will find the links to the youth quest and to the submissions on the Chancellor Minor webpage. So yes, please go visit that.
Their Majesties would see before them Isabel Del Oaks.
Your Majesties, I am at your service.
Good evening.
Another one from our ANS champions for the book binding.
Yes.
Oh,
it
was amazing.
It was amazing. And I know that there are a number of Easterners who have appreciated the books that she's gifted to vigils. The improvement in skill that you have shown has led to such impressive product. The amount of largesse. The amount of largesse.
The amazing largesse. Yes.
It is a special thing to receive a large quantity of high quality largesse.
Well, I believe from our lotteries, most of the kingdom has received a lot of her stuff.
And appreciated it.
Yes. Another certain group has appreciated this too. So Audrey, if you please call them in.
Their Majesties called back their Order of the Munch.
Here we are again.
Woo! I am. Thank you. This is amazing.
You are amazing. It is our pleasure to get to recognize you. It is fantastic to act so joyously with the will of the order behind us. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. It is truly impressive.
I live to serve and I love to create. So thank you.
Unto our royal cousins, nobles, and good gentlefolk all, greetings from Tindal and Alberic, consuls of the East. With careful consideration, consultation, and advisement among our order, we have taken the measure of the many skills of Isabel Del Oaks. Principal among them are her abilities with bookbinding, the numerous binding styles, and stitchwork, boards, end leaves, and tooling she has employed after years of deliberate and extensive research and much practice, have produced many beautiful and well-made books and delighted their recipients. She is skilled with words and written poems of love and hope, glory and joy. She has spent immeasurable time with wire and beads, making largesse for the kingdom, and many are adorned with her creations. We hereby recognize, laud, and extol many skills and talents of Isabel, and count her amongst the members of our esteemed Order of the Munch, with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities this entails. Scroll by Fiona O'Malley.
For Isabel, newest companion to the Order of the Munch. Viva!
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 Council Alberic. Alberic. All this talk about our Kingdom's ANS competition has me thinking, I have some business I need to take care of with one of your champions.
My champion?
Your champion.
Are you referring to my ANS champion?
I am.
Are you out there?
I am at your service, Majesties.
So, from the beginning of seeing you at ANS Champions through the transition, which was a magnificent video, to Bardic Wars, to every time your presence graces any part of this kingdom, there is an attention to detail, an immaculateness to the persona you are presenting, beyond the clothing, to the makeup, to the mannerisms, to the way that you explain it and make it accessible to others. There is a way that we can recognize those in the East who excel in the presentation that they put forth. And I would recognize you with my Sovereign's Award of Excellence.
Thank you, Majesty. Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Are you done with my champion? Because I'd like to speak with her as well.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. So you've been doing a great job as my ANS champion. You've been doing you did the 30-day poetry thing. Everyone enjoyed that immensely. You're still doing poetry, if I'm seeing that correctly.
Yes, Majesty.
So you do your periods so well, and there was a certain group of people that had to talk to me and then to us about the things that you've been doing. So Audrey, one more time, if you will.
Their Majesties call once more their Order of the Munch.
Oh yeah!
Thank you.
One of us.
This was a no-brainer in my mind.
This, if you have not seen the ANS entry and all of the work that went into it, this was the inevitable conclusion. You are bringing so much to the kingdom, and you will bring so much to this order. It is an honor to get to recognize you today.
And I cannot wait to meet you in person.
It will be my honor. Thank you, Majesties.
For Sugawara, newest recipient of the Sovereign's Award of Excellence and the newest companion to the Order of the Munch. Vivat!
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 Their Majesties would call before them Magnus de Rudlen.
Greetings, Majesties.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. And yourselves?
Comfortable. You are someone who has been brought to our attention because of your generosity and your kindness.
Always getting everyone involved, just having a grand old time.
Oh.
And your attitude, your action, your dedication has been an inspiration to those around you. And that has inspired us to see you recognized within the kingdom, to see you raised to the ranks of our nobility, and we would award you arms this evening.
Oh, I'm honored.
The cup was carried to him, kind words spoken in welcome, and a wealth of wrought gold graciously bestowed. Beowulf, poet. A guest can expect warm welcome from the camp of Magnus de Rudlen. A place by the fire, merrymaking and good companionship are graciously offered to old friends and new members of our society, rendering all rich in spirit. Magnus is praised in the province of Malagentia for his garb, authenticity, and honor. This lord embodies the nobility and generosity to which all in the East Kingdom aspire. For this, we, Tindal and Alberic, Consules of the East, cheerfully recognize Magnus de Rudlen with an award of arms, done in the month of July, Anno Societatis 56, at the 11th Ethereal Court of the Eastern Consules. Scroll by Elizabeth Greenleaf.
So, if I may, for the first time, Lord Magnus.
For Lord Magnus. Vivat!
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 Vivat! Their Majesties call before them Murin Inyan Kirik.
Hello, Your Majesties.
Hello. How are you this evening?
I am well. How are you?
A little warmer in this. Didn't expect that would be. It's just a little warm. So, a couple of things. Just a couple of things.
A couple things?
Just a couple of things.
Let's talk about your constant assistance at events. And beyond that, your support of the royalty within the East. coordinating regalia. I know that you are someone that I've seen guarding the consorts of the East. We're talking about service, and that should be recognized as a shining example of service. I would see you inducted this evening into our Order of the Silver Wheel.
Thank you.
But that also brings me to another thing that we needed to talk about. You've been a weaver. You're doing inkle weaving, I hear?
Card weaving, yes.
Nice. Brocade, quilling, and you teach others these skills, correct?
I try.
Well, that bears a lot of responsibility, and a lot of people have noticed this and have told us so, and we'd like to also induct you into the Order of the Silver Brooch.
Thank you.
Behold the word of the consuls of the East. Many are the people who uphold the arts within the kingdom. They bring beauty and grace to the realm with their colorful threads and ornate patterns. One such person is Murin Inyansiric. She weaves and sews, creating clothing both functional and wonderful. Therefore, do Tindal and Alberic, consuls of the East Kingdom, induct her into the Order of the Silver Brooch, given at the 11th Ethereal Court in the year of the plague, Anno Societatis 56. Scroll by Nest Verch Tanguistel.
Truly someone that is bringing a tremendous amount to the East. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
For Murin, newest companions to the Order of the Silver Wheel and Silver Brooch. Vivant!
Vivat!
Vivant! Vivant!
Vivat!
Woohoo!
Here we are in the incrustation set.
Yes, some people like to consider it which marble would you like to buy, because of all the different types of marble we have behind us.
Are you saying we're down to the remnants in set construction?
We are.
We should tag the set staff real quick. It's familiar names. It's Lord John Fitzthomas,
Lady John von Guzelberg,
Lady Elena the Blue,
Lady Tabitha de Lund,
and of course Baron G. Emerson True.
And of course we're also wearing the Honorable Lady Astrid's clothing. So yes.
I'd like to also take just a minute, because I know we're going to get some more, to send out a special thanks to those people that hosted and coordinated the elevations that we got to go to. There were so many people that opened up their houses to us, to candidates. There were people that organized spaces in parks that really took seriously the restrictions that we were bound by and still made a fantastic day for those that we wanted to honor.
We are so very grateful to you. Thank you so much.
Their Majesties call before them Carrick McShane.
Carrick, we were so happy to hear that you were going to be here today. One of His Majesty talked about one of the focuses of our reign, and it certainly was going to be involving the youth. And I have heard fantastic stories about your service to keeping the youth involved in our kingdom, both here in Nordenhall, at Penzic, and we would like to recognize that service today by inducting you into our Order of the Silver Wheel. Surprise!
There is a medallion, Your Majesties. I believe it is currently being worn by Abel Atwater.
Gotcha. Does this have a legacy? Or was this worn by you?
This is from me to him.
Excellent.
The Chancellor Minors of the East are sending word about one Carrick McShane from the number of those from that office who have seen his deeds and know them to be worthy. Being in this role in service to the future of this beloved dream is most appropriate for this noble. These efforts at events throughout the society will become the joy of a lifetime for the Tiger youth. For many offerings and opportunities are given as proof of this gentle's service, true as those of this kingdom rejoice in the fruits of such gracious labors. The silver wheels of the Tiger roamed east. Within the realm of their 11th Ethereal court, a distant journey, will be acquainted with one another and welcome among them Carrick McShane, as their good consuls Tindal and Alberic recognize him truly as one of their own, and award him such arms as Perbend, Argent, and Azure, on a heart jewels, 5 lozenges, 3 and 2 Argent. Scroll by Kenrick Aubrey, words by Eleanor Gray.
So if I may, for the first time, Lord Carrick.
For Lord Carrick! Vivat! 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 Their Majesties would call before them Tiberius Nautius to answer the question posed before him.
My lord, my ladies, and gentle them, make way for Tiberius Nautius Maximus, centurion of the legions of the North, soldier of the crown of the East, the Republic for which we stand. Like a good Roman, he brought culture, cuisine, and arts. And like a good soldier, he built roads in the bones of dragons. As an unbelted champion, he comes before the Tiger throne to answer the question.
Would you please stay a witness?
Tiberius, before we continue, we can hear no answer until you stand here as your own man. You are still bonded to another? We would see you released from that before we continue. Yes, let's see.
I've taken you on as my foster when Darius, Omega, couldn't. I again am tasked with that today for reasons that you know. You came to him many years ago. It's been a long path. And now that path, this stop is set. We're here at the end. This squire belt, Baldric, was a belt. This will be for you, put yours above, and to give to your first dependent. And there you break your contract. He's in your care.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Before us as your own, we would hear your answer as to whether or not we should proceed.
Yes.
We did not present this question to you, and though we are overjoyed with the answer, another one set you on this journey.
Their Majesties invite into their court Contessa Margarita di Siena.
Your Excellency, he has well answered your question, but would you join us in hearing the reasons he should join this order? Absolutely.
Their Majesties call before them their order of the chivalry.
Most noble chivalry of the East. Before Tiberius stands among us, we would hear words of his worth.
Is there a member of the Order of the Laurel that would speak about this candidate?
I am Countess Koenig von Sommerfeld. I'm not here to give my own words today, but to pass on the words of Tiberius Iulius Rufus Primus. I am Tiberius it's been a little bit of time. Iulius Rufus Primus, and I shall speak for those who wear the laurel. I first met Tiberius on the fields of Penzig in the Warriors of History tournament. We had met in passing previously, but that was the first time I got to see and recognize him in all that he is. That tournament required participants to build and assemble a historically accurate, documentable kit. We were inspected by a laurel, and before we could enter, who would ensure that we could have walked from the pages of history with some exceptions for safety gear as required if it was hidden. We fought that day with Roman weapons. In those bouts, through the grills of our helmets, through the sweat and sun scorched out of us, I saw him. I still see him. I see Tiberius approach his fighting and his life as art. He carefully studies exemplar pieces, sometimes even digs for them, and puzzles their most effective use. He recreates what he would have had as a Roman on the field and on the march, and knows what works far better than a book-bound braggart, because he's tried to wear it while running. I see him know the torpor of armor all day and the sore stains it offers to the studious at arms. I see Tiberius studying technique, examining effectiveness, and applying violence with ruthless efficiency. Is there anything more Roman? Good consuls, members of the orders, various and populous, I ask you to see this man. His line is a noble one, passed by Mars Ultor himself. I'm sure we could document that with the censors. His armor, weapons, and gear are sometimes battered. Sometimes they show dirt, sweat, and salt. They are objects that have lived just as they should. Tiberius is a soldier who has built prowess with the steady patience of an artist. Through model, training, excavation, and practice, he has refined an approach to comportment and combat. This man has the heart of an artist and is my peer. I commend him to you and ask that his name be added to the rolls of the Senate, as is right and proper.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Tiberius has a way with words, doesn't he? Thank you, Koenig, for bringing those words to us. Is there someone from the Order of the Pelican who would like to speak to this candidate?
Your Majesties, I would claim that honor. I'm Olaf Gothi Haraldsson, companion to the Order of the Pelican. A number of years ago, I put a sword in this young man's hand for the first time. We won't specify the number of years. He was self-described as having no style at all, but neither had an anvil. Obviously, he's gotten some style, but he does keep one trait with that anvil, and that is usefulness. I have watched him over the years serve both in the armies of the East and serving her populace, cooking at feast, serving the marshal, helping do research, teaching. I was at that same Warriors of History tourney years ago with Tiberius Iulius Rufus. I remember that day well. When I ran Winter War in Northern Outpost, Tiberius would be there pushing a broom and helping move everything into place, still wearing his armor. I have watched this man serve as much as I have watched this man fight. This man is my peer.
Thank you, Sir Olaf. Is there a member of the Order of Defense that could speak for this candidate?
Your Majesties, there is, and although he could not be here today, he sends me with his words. I bring the words of your loyal Master of Defense, Antonio Petrassa. Says Antonio, I am privileged to attest to the worthiness of Centurion Tiberius Nautius Maximus on the occasion of his just, proper, and merited elevation to the Order of Chivalry. I deeply regret that I am unable to be here to deliver these words in person. Excellence in tournament is by its nature an individual endeavor. In the list, the fencer must rely solely on his own weapons and skills to succeed. It is perhaps ironic, then, that fencers so highly prize the community of those who share a passion for our art, both within the kingdom and throughout the known world. It is the fencers who serve and elevate this community that we Easterners chose to first recognize, above those who merely excel with a blade. And so it is with our armored brethren. While Tiberius stands alone in the list, he has not been content to merely excel by himself. He raises others up with him through his service and passion and his deep commitment to households, friends, and society. Your Majesties, Tiberius's work elevates the contributions of your fighters, and indeed your populace. And it is right that he too be elevated. Here is the strength of your kingdom. I am honored to call him my peer.
Excellent words from Antonio for your perseverance. Is there a member of the Order of the Rose who would like to speak for this candidate?
I am Countess Natavia Rostropakova, and I have the joy of speaking for Tiberius, of whom I have long considered my son in the FCA. Today is a very good day. The Order of the Rose speaks to courtesy, and the great Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." I am positive he was talking about Tiberius when he said that. This man exudes courtesy from every single pore, and it beams out of him. As his SCA mom, I might be biased, but I know I'm speaking the truth, so there. Tiberius is the type of fighter that checks in on everyone around him first before he takes care of himself, often, sometimes to his own detriment. He is one of the last people to leave an event and one of the first to arrive, and spends the day fighting, cooking, and cleaning, and helping people pack out. He gives with his heart, and our kingdom is extremely lucky to have him. Tiberius has been my peer for a very long time, and I'm glad today it is officially recognized.
Well spoken, Your Excellency. Is there a member of the Order of Chivalry that would speak for this candidate?
Your Majesties, may I address?
Absolutely.
My name is Earl Ivan. I have been gifted with the honor of speaking for this vigilant. I have known Tiberius for many years. With this in mind, it only makes putting words to paper all the more difficult. Because if I were to speak to his prowess, I would say that he is a beast on the field and someone who I do not want hitting me. Ever. If I were to speak to his honor and integrity, I would point to the fact that he is someone, he's not just someone who we'd call a Boy Scout, but he really is. An Eagle Scout to boot. He has come to my boys' court of honors in full uniform. He has carried all of that with him as he moves throughout his life. He has brought it to the SCA, and it has helped shape him here as well. He is someone who betters those around him, always there when you need, always ready. Matters not the task, whether it is to wipe out a line of the enemy, or to pack up an encampment, or even to help, just to help someone in need. He is someone who leads by example. He is someone who I strive to be. He is someone who I consider my peer and my brother, even though I call him my SCA son. He is someone who I recommend to you this day with all my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. These are heavy words, full of emotion, intended to propel you forward to stand as equals with any peer within our society. But you need to be adorned in a way that others can see the outward accomplishments of what we do today.
So have you chosen to be a knight or a master?
Knight. Is there a belt?
Yes. This belt was made for me by Sir Marcus. The day I got knighted, hasn't been many nights out of my household.
Are there spurs that he may lead tigers into battle? These were my spurs. These came from Sir Gareth out of Nova Scotia, and they have those here. These are true extant Roman spurs, laid with silver. That's from.
Oh. If you were getting in armor, I'd beat you later. Prepare your butt.
If you are to lead our tigers into battle, you will need a weapon. Is there a sword?
Now, is there a chain?
Again, this is a lot of lineage to it. I apologize, I don't remember it. This came from Arla. To me, to you, but I do apologize. I'll have to try and get you the.
It's perfectly fine.
Ego, Tiberius Nautius Maximus, Juris pro Deum et honoris meum, omnia sesternive factoros, quae praecipiat imperator, nunquam desertorum mirtam, nunquam exignis desciterum et mortem, rescitatorum pro regnum orientam. I, Tiberius Nautius Maximus, swear by the gods in his honor that he shall faithfully execute all that the emperors command, that he shall never desert the service, he will never abandon the standard, that he will not seek to avoid death to the Eastern Kingdom. These words were originally sacramental. It was the last words a person would speak before they entered the service of allegiance.
I, Albert von Rostock, hear your words and know them to be true and honorable.
I, Magnus Tindal, look upon a centurion of the East. With confidence, I can say I no longer fear the sky falling on my head, for you shall be there to catch it and hold it. And for our part, you have our protection You have our faith. You have our arm to guide you in times of war. You have our ear for when you have counsel for us. In times of joy or sadness, you have a place at our hearth and a place at our side.
Until the crowns pass from our heads or the world ends, so say I, Alberic.
And I, Tindal,
Consules of the East.
Yep. For prowess. For virtue. For the East. We dub you knight. Jackson City.
The Emperors Alberic and Tindal, sons of the deified Margarita, grandsons of the deified Fortune, great-grandsons of the deified Vienna, Tiger Crown of the East, in the first year of their Tribunician power, elevates to the rank of infantryman who does not possess it, who has served in the northern army of these eastern lands, Legio III alla Serpentia for 17 years, and is honorably discharged, whose name is written below and legal marriage with the wife he had when citizenship was given to him, or with the wife he may later marry, but only one wife. 5 days before the calends of April, Anno Societatis 55, when Margarita was empress. Words by Anthony McKinnovick and Anna Dokianina Syracusina. Translation by Anna Dokianina Syracusina and Stefan Apkinin. Scroll is by Anthony McKinnovick.
So if I present to you for the first time, Sarnaudius.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Again, a lovely park, great site. So, on that note, we have events coming up.
We do.
What's next weekend?
Crown Tournament.
And then next month, August 14th, we have Bjorn's Retreat, which is Joachim's Advance.
It is.
And then possibly the 12th and final Ethereal Court, wrapping up all of the virtual things we have done on August 26th.
Can't wait. Can't wait. So we're also going to put out a call for champions bids. If you're a champion and you want to be switched over, please, we would love to see bids for those events.
And I would also encourage, if you are a group and you think you could host a champions event, or a champion that would need a group to host an event, reach out to us, because I would love to make some of those connections if we have willing parties that just don't know that they have that option.
Yes.
Obviously, days are important. I'm going to back up a second and say that last Ethereal Court is a Thursday night. Normally, we would have recorded awards on a Thursday night. This time, we're going to show them.
Yes.
But that's August's problem.
So please, let us recognize some more good gentles of our pool.
Their Majesties call before them Diana Van Aken.
Good afternoon. So, years from now, when they have Eastern trivia contests, like they did at 50 Year, the question will be, what was the first live event held coming out of this year of separation? And I like it as a trivia question because the answer is going to be Bardic Champions. Bardic Champions was held, though virtually entirely live. Live performances, live judging. This was the beginning of the reopening. This was the real-time events that we had been missing so much. And the amount of logistical work that went into making that happen is unimaginable. And I say that because I can't imagine how much work went into it.
I'm not going to imagine either. It was actually quite fantastic to be able to sit there and watch the performers and be able to select them live. It was beyond amazing. And for that, we would like you to give you our bird and tiger.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
For Diona, newest recipient of the Order of the Burdened Tiger. Vivat! 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 Their Majesties would call before them Ruth Baraskaya.
Ruth, this has been such an unexpected rain, and the ability to have the populace of the East feel appreciated has been vital. And the connection that people associate with the work that you have done has elevated us. And it seems only fair that we look at the amount of time you have been serving the East, the intensity with which you have been helping us, and respond by naming you a Baroness of our court.
You've made so many favors for me. You're doing so much for the kingdom, so we would like to...
Alberic and Tindal, consuls to our well-beloved Ruth Baraskaya, greetings. Whereas we are of a mind that your great deeds of service should no longer stand unrewarded, and willing and wishing to recognize your beautiful works for our benefit, and for the profit and enrichment of the realm, we do hereby endow and invest you with the rank of a Baroness of our court for the term of your life, and do further enjoin, instruct, and ordain you to wear upon your person the tokens and ensigns of this rank, in witness whereof we, Alberic and Tindal, do set our own hands to this document in the 56th year of the Society. Scroll by Aradin Guillou.
Your Excellency, thank you so much.
For Her Excellency, newest Baroness of the Eastern Court. Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
The consuls of the East, Albrecht and Rostock, and Magnus Tindal, summon before them Pakshalika Cannonballa!
Pakshalika, you have done a lot for this reign as well. You have made some of my favors. You made an excellent hand puppet for His Majesty for all of the work that you've done for the East Kingdom. And for what His Majesty will say some words, we will be giving you something else.
Sparky was fantastic. But Sparky is the tip of the iceberg of the things that you have done for us and for this kingdom. It's every act that you commit to has been so special and unique, and we would like to recognize you by naming you a Baroness of our court.
Wow. Saddam, success to you! Victorious is the race of Eastern kings, and long the line of its forebearers. 105 generations of kings. Grandparents Augur, bringer of the rain, and fortune of the 1,000 blessings. Mother Margarita, stronger than our iron lotus, who birthed twin tigers of valor, Tindal and Alberic, who reign wisely during an epoch of peace. They honor, address, and command all who have gathered together, nobility, kingdom ministers, advisors, governors of regions, as well as servants of the king, to know that a court barony is to be given to Pakshalika Cannonballa. She is worthy to be rewarded as an example for good people, possessing a personal appearance that is commended, having an undisturbed mind and versed in the 3 Vedas. Given by the kings on the occasion of their court, in the time of the new moon during the summer heat, Anno Societatis, consisting of a village near Concordia of the Snows, and a great field of putti grass flanked on all sides with mango, breadfruit, betel nut, and date palm trees, free from taxation, which is associated by levies of gold on all royal subsidies. Henceforth, this gift of this land is to be respected. Furthermore, both the one who receives this land and the one who gives the land are sure to be blessed with good karma. She who gives back this gift, or who takes the land of another, shall be tormented along with her ancestors after turning into a worm of excrement. Scroll by Marguerite Enyon Lachlan. And your scroll is forthcoming.
Oh my goodness. Who wrote? Did she write that as well?
Just Maggie wrote it.
Oh! Oh, I didn't put that together. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I talked to her at Trailer.
For Baroness Pakshalika, newest Baroness of the Eastern Court! Vivat! 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 Their Majesties would call before them Osa Silverhair.
Mr. Sosa, you as our event coordinator did not know what you were signing up for before this all started.
That is so true.
Your job has changed. This will be now what, the 3rd time it's being changed because we're going back to regular events again?
Osa, the number of communications that come to us that the reply is check with Osa. Like, Osa's got that. Like, Osa's handling that. Osa agreed to do one job, and that, like, in the jobs that grew, right? And the flexibility. It's been excellent. You are such a significant part of the reign because it's the machine that makes it work, right? Welcome to Behind the Curtain. And behind the curtain is where court really happens. It's what keeps the kingdom running. And if we're going to welcome you behind the curtain, and into our court, we should do so with appropriate rank and make you a baroness of our court.
Osa Silverhair, a gentle of great renown, companion of the Maunch and the Laurel, art and science champion to Consort Thura I, esteemed by Royal Consort Etheldreda IV. Pine cones, sapphires, and diamonds have been bestowed upon her. Her skills in the workings of fiber are well known. She has published her research to better disseminate the knowledge she acquired. She has taken apprentices under her sleeves, helping them find their paths in the fibery wilderness. Nor does she keep her expertise to herself. Nay, she teaches at events, arts and sciences nights, feasts, and wars. She finds all good things in all places she goes. She makes her travels and travails known to any who wish to read them, writing them out in the ether. Updated frequently, including images saved in the ethereal realm, she does so much, gives of her time and energy, strives to make our eastern realm a better place. For these deeds and virtues do we now recognize her as a baroness of our court. Done this day in our 11th Ethereal Court in the 56th year of our society during the Great Separation. By our hands as Consules of the East, so say we, Alberic and Tindal, with our ensign's manual. Words by Slanya Ben Ronan, scroll by Fiona the Volatile.
It has been such an honor to serve you. I have enjoyed every day.
Your service has truly been invaluable. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Certainly deserve it.
For Her Excellency Osa, newest Baroness of the Eastern Court. Vivat! 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 Their Majesties invite into their court the Right Honorable Lordship George Emerson True.
My consulate. Before we...
So, it's interesting. I have learned a tremendous amount about the East Kingdom through the time I've gotten to spend with you. Your role as the beginning of the, I can't remember the word,
Chamberlain.
The Chamberlain office, thank you. Your connection and history with the people of the East. How do you get Emerson to do something for the East? You ask, because such is his loyalty and dedication to the crown and the kingdom. I'm not talking about the things you've done for us. I'm talking about the role you have had within the kingdom. The East only gets one Emerson.
The East does only get one Emerson, and you have done a lot for the East. You keep nagging us about certain issues that we need to take care of. And you keep asking us about, have you done this? Have you done that? And we so much appreciate it because of the knowledge that you hold with the East Kingdom. You keep us on track, you keep us motivated, and you've kept us in great spirits the entire time you've been on the thrones. So today we will honor you with this.
I'm going to say it. If the East gets one Emerson, we get one Tiger of the East.
To pick their Tiger of the East, the crown surveyed the populace for one who served in many roles and never with a frown, no matter how the ship of state has swerved.
Said Tindal, leadership is what we seek across both local and kingdom scope. Said Alberic, and who's had a streak of taking jobs with which so few could cope. Of such a one who's worn so many hats, with Concordia beyond as well, land one at Penzic, herding all the cats, and the seneschal of Eastern realm do tell. And thus they named as Tiger Shaded Blue, most honored Baron G. Emerson True.
So that all will know the value and variety of his contributions to his barony, his kingdom, and the society. We, Alberic and Tindal, Consules of the mighty kingdom, induct G. Emerson True into the Order of the Tiger of the East, done by our hand in our ethereal court, Anno Societatis 56. Words by Maeve Inyan E. Kelly. Scroll by Audrey Bennett.
It is a great honor, and I'll do everything I can to be worthy of that honor. Thank you so much. I really can.
People of the East, a tiger stands before you.
Vivat!
Vivat! Vivat!
Vivat!
Oh my goodness. Great days.
Back in the garden that you left for our coronation.
Most certainly.
It's a very comfortable spot.
So there were certain things that didn't make the videos. I gave out quite a few inspirations at these elevations because it is in my right to do so. And I would like to get into the list of names of the inspirations that I gave out. So that would be Viscountess Cullen and Viscountess Sheva, Count Ivan and Countess Natavia. And I am going to myrtleize your names, so I'm going to actually read them off my list. So, Lady Amie de Mort, Lady Colette d'Avignon, and Lady Tifon Faramay, all very big inspirations to me and to the East Kingdom. So I'd like to thank you and honor you today by making sure that got read into the list.
Well done. You say the names better than I do.
I try. So I believe there is one more elevation to do.
Their Majesties would summon forth Baroness Audrey Bennett to answer the question before her.
All pray heed now and listen to the works, the qualities, and the joy that is Audrey Bennett. Baroness, Silver Crescent, Monch. She is a servant and an artist. Herald, Seneschal, Steward. She is a leader and organizer. Web minister, chronicler, social media. She is a communicator and an educator. Scribe, metalworker, embroiderer. She is talented and generous. Mentor, confidant, advisor. She is dedicated and trustworthy. Mother, daughter, sister. She is a companion and a friend. Your most royal majesties, peers of the realm, people of the East, one and all, I present to you this day Audrey Bennett, right worthy vigilant for the ancient and noble order of the Pelican.
Audrey, we sent you away to think, to hear words, to return to us with an answer. But before we hear you speak, there's business that needs to be accounted for. Their Majesties invite into their court Camille Desjardins.
Audrey, I'm gonna need that belt back.
We talked about this.
We did, but for today, I'm gonna need the belt back. You'll get it back after it all, because I have things to teach you still about art, and you're gonna learn, and we're nowhere near done.
Their Majesties would ask before them Master Rowan Cloworthy.
Audrey, we began our journey together unofficially in the circumstances 8 years ago. You have been my student ever since then. Coming on 2 years ago, you became my protege. Now it is time for you to stand on your own. So you have something that belongs to me, and I need it back. So what was mine is now yours. But this is part of a set. It shouldn't be alone either.
And their Majesties would ask before them Mistress Renier Womb.
I have been truly honored for you to be my protege, and I'm so proud of you. And I love you.
I love you so much. I think it is time that this goes back to you.
Yes, I couldn't be happier. Thank you. I would like to give this back to you to hang on to. So when you do take a protege, you could give it to them. The words on it, I can't remember all of them, but they're all about work and honor. And
Mistress, we wrote them on. Neither of us would forget.
I think they're worn off, but
No.
okay. Anyway,
We will now hear your answer.
Your Majesties, I would humbly accept the offer to join the Order of the Pelican.
Thank you. But as so often we have heard your voice, before we proceed, it is time for you to listen, that others can speak of why we do this today. Is there a member of the Order of the Chivalry that would speak for this candidate?
Lady Consul, I am Count Wilhelm von Ostenbrucke, Knight of this East Kingdom, and I would request that honor. Both the Order of Chivalry and the Order of the Defense, we have very similar requirements. Train hard, practice, kill everything in front of you, don't be a jerk. The Order of the Laurel has something similar. Train hard, practice your art, go out and share it with the world. But the Order of the Pelican is a difficult thing to judge because there is nothing tangible. While we are off fighting for glory out in the field, in front of all the world to see, we're competing in a tournament to win the day. The Order of the Pelican and those who wish to be a member of it are behind the scenes, serving, working in the kitchens, working the event, attending the royals. Audrey is a shining example of this ideal. She just never stopped working. I've seen her show up to events, instantly help people set up, goes off to organize people, to help the event staff, help the royals, organize a court, call out the court, and then help clean up afterwards. But the service doesn't end there. It's the stuff in the background that we don't see. There's all the planning and communication for the next event. There's all the phone calls, emails, virtual meetings, and even finishing off the bottle of Old Krupnik so her companions don't have to suffer the horrible headaches the next day. All Audrey does, all this work, she does it for love of this kingdom. Mighty Consuls, if that is not a peer-like quality, then I do not know what is. What you do here today is a good thing, and I thank you for it.
Very noble and wise words, Your Excellency. Thank you. Is there someone from the Order of the Laurel who will speak for the candidate?
Your Majesties, I'm Baroness Sylvia Duvet, member of the Order of the Pelican and member of Order of the Laurel, and it's my honor to speak for Audrey today. I found myself thinking I needed to talk about Audrey's art because she arts and she does it beautifully. But I don't want to. I don't want to talk about your art. I want to talk about your gifts. When you first entered the SCA, Cody was but a toddler. And you brought him to us with yourself as a person jumping wholeheartedly in, going to sing, going to events, helping and autocrating almost immediately, but you brought us the gift of your son. As you moved on, you continued to do things. And when the Shire became a barony, our very first baronial child was Kara. And you brought us another gift. When we work and when we play in the society, we don't do it in isolation. We have a whole team of people around us. But when we do it as a parent, it takes on a whole different meaning. Because you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for your children. You've brought them into this group, and they are a gift to us. As much as all of your art, and as much as all of your service. And so, I want to thank you for your gift to us of yourself, your art, your service, and your children. Your Majesties, Audrey is my peer, and I'm thrilled that you are asking her this question and that she will be saying yes.
Eloquently put, Your Excellency. Is there a member of the Order of the Rose that would speak for this candidate?
Your Majesty, I am Contessa Vienna de la Mer, and it is my great honor to speak on behalf of the Rose for my friend today. The first time I was introduced to Audrey, I was actually in an airport traveling home from Crown Tournament that we had just won. Because hers was the first email I opened when I had Wi-Fi. In it, she introduced herself, said she was appointed by the web ministry to help us with our website, which was great because we didn't know who was going to do that job. On our second flight, Wilhelm and I discussed having her on our staff, and by the time we landed, we decided to take that leap of faith. Our trust in you has never wavered, not once. From that time forward, I watched you bloom and rise up to every challenge, and I noticed you take on more and more and more. I saw your confidence soar, your skills hone, and your compassion for others also never wavered. Your strength and conviction is outstanding, and I am in awe of you. Being a peer, it is about living up to our potential and reaching out to others and helping them on their journey. And yet being a peer is also about accepting help because we never go it alone. Your counsels, I am grateful for your recognizing Audrey today with this well-deserved accolade. Audrey, you are my peer and my friend, and I love you dearly.
Surely words of courtesy if I ever heard any. So we may hear from the Order of Defense.
Your Majesties, I am Mercedes Vera de Calafia, and I speak for the Order of Defense. We speak for the virtue of perseverance. Generally, when speaking to a candidate's worthiness, we speak to their past and what they have accomplished.
And I am Master Fraser McLeod, also of the Order of Defense. And as it happens today, I will be speaking to Audrey's past.
If past is prologue, I'm looking forward to both her short-term and long-term future.
It should be noted that neither future can exist without a past to begin with. And Audrey has a bit of a past.
As herald, artist, and seneschal, she has displayed a competence that has awed me.
And her perseverance to overcome the hurdles and the obstacles that have been put in her path to get to where she is this day have awed me.
Audrey, on the road ahead, there will be only one constant, the need to persevere.
And persevere you will, Audrey, because of the steel that has been forged from the fires that you have walked through.
Your strength, your honesty, your compassion, your generosity will all be tested by the challenges you face.
You have been prepared, perhaps better than anyone I know, to face all of these challenges.
There will be days that will draw on every ounce of your peer-like qualities, where you will need to dig deep into the trust we place in you to make it through. That is what a peer is.
And as it happens, Audrey, that is what you are.
And I say to your majesties that I am delighted to recommend this candidate to you.
Your majesties, I will echo His Excellency's words from earlier. This is a good thing you do this day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well-spoken words about your ability to persevere and succeed. Is there a pelican that would speak for this candidate?
Consules, there are a lot of pelicans here, but I am going to claim that right. I am Countess Chartricon Megahunta, called Meggie. Once upon a time, I was also known as Queen Marguerite. During that time, I gave a newcomer a welcome token at Great Northeastern War in 2010. 11 years later, today, she kneels, she sits before her consuls as I speak in defense of her inclusion into the Order of the Pelican. When Audrey stepped into the role of the Eastern Crown Herald, the voice of the crown, she did so after years of autocrat and heralding work. But She has become much more than the consul's voice. She has been the most visible crown herald in memory as a function of the magic of the ethereal courts. She did this at a very precarious time in our kingdom's history, and she has excelled in this role. At a time when many of us could not help, she dedicated herself to the smooth functioning of the kingdom during the unsettling, chaotic, grief-stricken circumstances of the pandemic. This is leadership. This is service. Consuls of the East, know that Audrey is my peer in every way, and I beg you, on behalf of the Pelicans, please elevate her as soon as possible. We're done waiting.
Well, with those words, can we please call the order? Their Majesties request the presence of their most noble Order of the Pelican. Quite the champion. The order has also spoken. Let us give her the symbols of the order. Properly outfitted, that those who see you would know the achievements you have earned. We would hear your oath.
Hic votum adigo, cum reventia, illis precendentis, cum dignitatione me cum comitantor, et cum honore illis me subsecuntor. In gladio nomine justicia, adigo corona, civis orientatis, et populi supra extremitatis suere. Tuere dignitatem et honoram mihi defertis, hodie et quotidie, et perpetuum voveo. Quotiens discam doceo ut regnum vestri floriet. Concilium acigam quandro consulitis. Vox meo donabo benigni regibus aduere, istem illos voces comprimuntur. Peritie, scientie, civilitas, et patiente complector quod actione facio, utra mihi an regibus un regnis. Haec vota delargio et quosti deliqui, tum me periet justicia, sic ipsa adioro Audrey Bennett.
I, Alberic von Rostov, hear your words and know them to be true and honorable. I, Magnus Tindal, see you before us, and understand that much like the tides of the ocean, fealty moves between us. We have relied upon your counsel and your service for an eternity. Moving forward, we rest upon the wisdom of your counsel, and we offer you the protection of our hearth and house. Until the crowns pass from our heads, or the world ends. So say I, Alberic. And I, Tindal. Consuls East. Already have all mankind united in celebrating with joyous festivities as we draw near to the completion of our year of seclusion. Already have we ourselves, Magnus and Alberic, begun again to travel our lands and convene our court, weaving, as it were, garlands of words to encircle the heads of those who have done faithful service. But now, while we desire to give utterance to some of the customary sentiments, we stand perplexed and doubtful which way to turn, being wholly lost in wonder at the extraordinary spectacle before us. For to whatever quarter we direct our view, whether to the east or to the south, or over the whole world, or towards the heavens themselves, everywhere and always we see the accomplishments and the excellence of our favored servant, Audrey Bennett. Standing as she did, alone and preeminent among our retinue, as a herald and advisor, having alone rendered honor as none before her have ever done to our kingdom.
So unique among our subjects, as she was accounted worthy of such honors few can say have attained, so that no one, whether Greek nor barbarian, nay, of the ancient Romans themselves, has ever been presented to us as worthy of a companion with her. The ancient oracles of the prophets, whose words are delivered to us in frail inscriptions, declare this: the lives of dedicated citizens who shone in old time with every virtue bear witness to posterity of the same, and our own days prove it to be true, wherein Audrey Bennett, who has served us with faithful duty, even in this time of trial and separation, has appeared to all mankind so clear an example of a dutiful and useful life. Heaven giving assurance that those who glorify and honor our kingdom will meet with an abundant recompense at our hands, we do invest and proclaim her with the title and dignity of Companion of the Order of the Pelican on the 5th day before the Ides of July in the 1st year of our reign, and we are honored to give her special tokens of respect so that all may know she is a person worthy of perpetual remembrance.
So for the first time, Mistress Audrey Bennett.
For Magistrate Audrey!
Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
That was just a great day as well. Congratulations to everyone who received awards today. It's very special to us that it is seen and viewed by the populace of the kingdom.
And we look forward to getting out and getting to see a lot of you in person. And for those of you who we don't get to see, we are back on Thursday, August 26th with our 12th anniversary virtual court. Until then, hopefully summer is good to you, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
So, Magistrate Audrey?
Your Majesties, there being no further business, herein closes the 11th Ethereal Court. Long live the Consules of the East. Long live the Kingdom of the East. And long live the people of the East.
Right, because Setmore Swamp is doing their...
Mm-hmm.